Good evening. It's January 7th, 2014, our reorganization meeting. The notice of this meeting saying the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, please conduct the prayer and flag salute.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In event of emergency, the proper method for exiting the council chambers through the 3 doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase out to the front door and move away from the area of the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session, please sign in on the sheets provided in the front of the room. Please turn off all cell phones and place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the council chambers to do so. Tonight, the members of council who were elected on November 5th, 2013 general election have subscribed to the oath of office prior to January 1st, 2014. But for the benefit of the public in attendance, the officials will repeat the process. And the oath of office will be administered by the following elected and re-elected officials. We're going to start with the Second Ward. Second Ward Councilman Donald Byer, will you please step into the well of the floor and be sworn in by Judge Daniel Roberts. Holding the Bible will be his daughter Brooke Byer. Will his wife come down also, Louise Byer, and his son Will Byer, please come to the floor. Our councilman from the second ward, third ward, Peter Brown's, has transportation problems. He's on the train and he should be here shortly, so when he gets here, we'll swear him in. I have a question from Councilwoman Cosby.
No, I was talking to my daughter.
Okay. So, Councilwoman from the 5th Ward, Roshana Cosby Hurling, to my left, who helps me all the time here, will be sworn in by Judge Carl Marshall. Holding the Bible will be Karen Rowe, her aunt, her husband Derek Hurling, and her children Ashley, Lo, Rashawn, Derek Charles, Charisse. Please come forward to the well. Thank you. We're going to move on to the councilman from the 7th Ward, Mike Minichenko, will be sworn in by Senator Nick Scatori. Holding the Bible will be his son, Eric Minichenko. His wife, Carol, please come forward.
Okay. Ready, Councilman?
Yes, sir.
I, Michael Minichenko,
I, Michael Minichenko,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in its state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
all of the duties
of the office of Councilman of the 7th Ward,
of the office of Councilman of the 7th Ward,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Councilman.
Thank you. We have some dignitaries here this evening. I'd like to introduce Roselle Mayor Jamal Holly. Our Union County Freeholder Chairman, Chris Hudak. And our Senator Nick Scatori. Archie Cirelli, the member of the Board of Education. And we're hoping for Mr. Brown to get here, and when he does, we'll swear him in. So, Mr. Clerk, for the members that were sworn in, would you present the plaques, please? Certificate of elections.
Yes, sir. On behalf of Union County Clerk Joanne Rajapi, I would like to make these presentations to our elected and re-elected council people.
Mr. Clerk, will you take the roll, please?
Mr. Colbus.
Here.
Byer. Brown.
He's
Armstead.
delayed.
Cosby Hurling.
Here.
Sadowski.
Here.
Medichenko.
Here.
Yamakaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Kaczynski.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here. I'd like to ask for a motion for the approval of minutes for December 17th, 2013, regular public meeting.
Mr. Council President, I move for the approval of the minutes of December 17th and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Medichenko.
Abstain.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes, I'd like to take this opportunity now to swear in the honorable councilman from the 3rd Ward, Peter Brown. Mr. Brown will be sworn in by Senator Nick Scatori. Holding the Bible will be his son, Peter Alexander. Brown III will, and Andrew Brown, his son. Will you please come forward for the swearing in for Councilman Brown?
I, Peter A. Brown. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution. Of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. And I will bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. And to the governments established. In the United States. And in this state. Under the authority of the people. And that I will faithfully. Impartially. And justly. All the duties. Of the office of Councilman of the Third Ward. According to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
Sure you can.
Well, you can give it.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Clerk, will you present the certificate to Councilman Brown?
Yes. Mr. Brown, on behalf of the County Clerk, Joanne Rajapi, I would like to present you with your certificate of election. Doesn't make a difference.
I'd like to ask the mayor to come give his annual message. Would you, Mr. Mayor? Richard Gumbucker.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. And I just would like to say thank you for attending this reorg meeting on such a frigid night. It's appreciated by myself and all the governing body members. For Linden, the year 2013 was the best of times and the worst of times, if I may use that quote from the classic novel, A Tale of Two Cities. The worst of times continue with our financial woes. Linden lost approximately $7 million since 2008 in real tax dollars. In addition, state law required all municipalities in 2013 not to exceed their previous year's budget by more than 2%. That was a 50% difference from the 2012 budget, which was a 4% cap. State law does allow to keep out of the cap pension, debt service, and health costs. But after everything was said and done, the City of Linden's 2013 budget was $5.2 million above the state cap. Needless to say, this scenario required drastic measures be implemented to conform to state law. First, all spending ceased unless there was councilmatic approval. Then myself and City Council commenced negotiations with our 8 unions for 2013 salary concessions and deferments. But even after that successfully was negotiated, we still wound up with $1.2 million above the 2% cap. For 3 months, every avenue to reduce spending was explored, but no alternative could be found. The only way to offset this $1.2 million deficit was either to further reduce services or circumvent the cap law by including a separate garbage tax. We chose the latter. Although this was an unpopular decision and a bitter pill for everyone to swallow, including your elected officials, it was the right decision because it was the lesser of all evils. But on a positive note, in regards to the best of times that I mentioned earlier in my statement, many events occurred in 2013 that was and will be a benefit to the city of Linden in the future. Finally, after 4 years of hard work to get Transit Village status, Linden is being rewarded. The Department of Transportation has awarded our city approximately $1 million to be used for beautification and for beautification only around our train station. A project team has been formed on how to spend this money wisely, and we've unanimously agreed that the beautification program should start at our train trestle and work outwards on Northwood Avenue and Southwood Avenue. Hopefully, this money will take us a considerable distance and add to the new vision of Wood Avenue. Already, we've redone the inside of our train station with new bathrooms, new benches, landscaping, and a fresh paint inside and outside. We also had a group of students from Keene College volunteer their time from their fraternity and sorority to paint murals on the walls of the railroad trestle. This has spruced up the area and made it aesthetically pleasing. The price was right also. All it cost us was materials and all the pizza 50 students could eat for lunch. There was a small section that wasn't completed, and upon calling Superintendent Robertosi, he was able to allow his students from Seoul Middle School to complete the job. Also, a thank you is in order for the Board of Education and the German exchange students along with their Linden High School student hosts. In a 4-hour period, they beautified the 8th Ward by cleaning up Park Avenue underneath the railroad trestle, underneath the overpass, and they also put a fresh coat of paint on a park shed and the abandoned Park Avenue building at Bettle Place. This is the type of community projects we should encourage because they not only beautify a section of our neighborhood, but they instill community spirit also. Recently, the City of Linden signed a memorandum of agreement and understanding with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the State Department of Transportation, the City of Elizabeth, to pledge cooperation for improvements to the 278 and Route 1 and 9 intersection. If you remember last year, Linden was honored with a contingent that was invited to the governor's mansion, Drumthwacket, where we had breakfast and discussed Linden issues with the governor. During that meeting, I discussed this long dormant project. Since these roads give direct access to Staten Island, the governor directed the Port of Authority to attach these improvements to the Goethals Bridge project. In the near future, we're going to have a major intersectional improvement to 1 and 9 and 278 that was on a drawing board for over 20 years. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank County Manager Al Fiala and Linden's own freeholder Chris Hudak for their quick response to my request for a traffic study on Wood Avenue between Gibbon Street and Morris Avenue. Union County is going to conduct this study at no cost to our city. It will consist of a traffic flow analysis, signal optimization, pedestrian safety, and infrastructure improvements. We could also use this survey for our Complete Streets program, which will open up more grant money once we achieve this status. Linden, through the hard work of retired environmental science teacher Dolores Maslow, is going to be one of the first communities to have a municipal public access plan for waterways. This plan is geared toward shore communities, but we were able to piggyback it by allowing public access to the Rollway River through our award-winning Hawk Rise Sanctuary. Now, we have the ability for more state grants to complete Phase 3 of our walkway at Hawk Rise, and we could open up canoeing and kayaking at the Rollway River. Last month, an ordinance was introduced and adopted by this governing body for electric aggregation. This allows the city to contract with a third-party provider to lower our electrical costs to the residents. This third-party provider will buy electricity in bulk on the open market and cannot charge by law any more than PSE&G will charge. 21 municipalities in the state are already using the state-approved vendor, and last year, the city of Toms River saw their electric bills reduced by 12%. A key aspect of this law is that residents could opt in or opt out at their convenience. On the economic front, after many years of hard work by this administration and our Linden Economic Development Director, Ron Stefanowitz, things are finally starting to pay off. After 7 frustrating years, we finally cleared all the legal hurdles on Southwood Avenue development project between Linden Avenue and Morris Avenue. In a year's time, we're going to see a beautiful 176-unit apartment building rising from that vacant lot that's been costing the city $250,000 a year in principal and interest for demolition of those homes. I've said this before, and I say it again, this is going to be the spark that's going to ignite an explosion on Wood Avenue. Why? Because you're going to see young professionals who inhabit this complex use the train station to commute to New York and Newark. Upon returning home, they are going to want quality restaurants and stores in their neighborhood. This will stimulate further growth, and I predict in 5 years, a dramatic change to the entire Wood Avenue area around the train station. And by the way, we will also receive $350,000 a year in tax revenue. On the other side of the railroad trestle, behind the Linden Towers on East Elizabeth Avenue, 48 condominiums were built. They are selling so quickly that developer is going to build 48 more. At the ribbon-cutting ceremony, I talked to a Brooklyn resident that recently bought a condominium there. I asked him why he came to Linden. He said because this condominium was cheaper than the rent he's paying in Brooklyn. And besides that, he could commute quicker to Manhattan from Linden than he can from Brooklyn. Another recurring revenue that we anticipate occurring in mid-2014 will come from our biggest taxpayer, Phillips 66. They will be receiving North Dakota crude oil into their refinery by rail. The chemical coastline runs parallel to the New Jersey Turnpike and will transport this crude oil to a pumping facility that is currently being built on Lower Road opposite Memorial Park. This facility then will pump the crude by existing pipeline to the refinery. Since 1998, Linden has been trying to get turnpike access to Tremley Point, so we could keep trucks off of Southwood Avenue and open up the 400 acres of brownfields for development. Finally, after a long struggle by this administration and a full court press by our Economic Development Director, the Coast Guard issued an environmental assessment report finding no significant impact on the environment if this bridge is built over the Rawway River from exit 12 and Carteret into Tremley Point. This will allow now the Turnpike to design the bridge, permit the bridge, and they've told me that after the design and permitting process is over, it'll take 3 years for them to build the bridge. They have $144 million in capital budget already approved. Again, after many years of arm twisting by this administration, the Federal Environmental Protection Agency held a public hearing on a cleanup of Linden chlorine products location. This is a 26-acre Superfund site that's been designated as such since 1992. They intend to neutralize the mercury in the soil and cap it. Here is another site that can provide significant recurring revenue when it is cleaned up. On a larger economic front, we have been in serious negotiations for the last 6 months with a corporation that will provide substantial recurring revenue to the city of Linden on 143 acres of the old GAF property. Goodwin Virtue, a reinvestment trust company headquartered in Australia and a #1 developer in Europe, wants to build and enter the new North American market for warehousing. They want to buy the 143 acres of GAF property, which is totally cleaned up and approved by the DEP, and put 2.7 million square foot warehouse space on that property. There's going to be 5 buildings on that property. And what makes this property so valuable is that they are widening the Panama Canal and raising the Bayonne Bridge. When that is done, that will allow super container ships to enter Port Newark Elizabeth. These container ships are going to contain 4 times the amount of containers that are currently brought in to Port Newark Elizabeth. Port Newark Elizabeth cannot hold that volume of containers on their property. So they are going to be, by computer, taking them right off the ship onto rail and truck to the various warehouse destinations. These warehouses in the city of Linden are going to be warehousing for the usual products coming off the container ships, but also they've told me that there's a lot of brick and mortar stores that want to get into the e-commerce type of distribution, similar to Amazon.com. They're extremely excited to come in here, and when I mentioned this development to the Lieutenant Governor over the phone, she was so impressed that a week before her election, we had an audience with her and the Business Action Center staff that she's in charge of, and they discussed the different business incentives the state of New Jersey has to offer Goodwin Virtue for locating in the city of Linden. The Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Transportation, Joe Morozak, we've spoken to him. We went to the DOT offices, and he is also helping us. He happens to be a Linden boy that I grew up with, and many old-time Lindenites might remember his family-owned business on Roselle Street that sold Pontiacs, Morozak Motors. On a federal level, we met with Congressman Payne in his Newark office. He pledged his support of this project and is excited about the 2,000 to 3,000 full-time jobs this development will bring to our city and Union County. Congressman Series, Chairman of Federal Transportation Committee is aware of the project and is also on board and working hard for us. Due to last week's Northeaster, I had a meeting set up with Goodwin Bircher, Senator Scutari, Assemblywoman Stender, Assemblyman Green, Freeholder Hudak, County Manager Al Fiala, but we had to cancel that meeting because of the snowstorm. But all of them assured me that they can't wait for me to reschedule another hearing to hear this development proposal, and they're strongly committed to it. So you could see this is a team effort from 4 levels of government: federal, state, county, and local, all working in concert to benefit the city of Linden and bring a tremendous rateable into our community. Yes. On a major development also occurring, where we've had some hard luck over the years, we continue to work with Duke Realty regarding the development of the 108 acres of the old General Motors property. Presently, if you've noticed, they're building a 500,000 square foot warehouse on Linden Avenue behind Route 1. It is being built on speculation and intend to be completed by the fall of this year. As everyone knows, ShopRite of Aviation Plaza has been a thorn in our side since this development started to progress. They filed a lawsuit early on challenging our ability to rezone from light industry to retail commercial, 35 acres fronting Route 1 and 9 for retail commercial. Our position was upheld in the Superior Court. They appealed it to the Appellate Division. It was upheld, and the Supreme Court upheld our position. Shortly thereafter, ShopRite of Aviation Plaza again filed another lawsuit claiming that the site plan approval in our planning board was flawed. And we had an instant replay of the first lawsuit, again with the same results. Unfortunately, going through litigation to the New Jersey Supreme Court on 2 lawsuits takes time. We could have had a shovel in the ground 2 years ago on this retail development fronting Route 1 and 9 if it wasn't for ShopRite of Aviation Plaza. In September of last year, the Planning Board approved a site plan approval for a new Wawa on the 2 parking lots of the GM property between Pleasant Street and the trestle fronting 1 and 9. True to form, ShopRite of Aviation Plaza has filed another lawsuit saying our planning process was flawed. This is why I continue to tell residents not to shop in ShopRite of Aviation Plaza. They are hurting the city tremendously. If everything was built on that property tomorrow, we'd be getting $5.2 million in revenue. But again, ShopRite continues to harass us with lawsuit after lawsuit. Another project that's going to be resolved shortly is Phase 2 of the East St. George Avenue redevelopment project. This has been in the planning stages since 2005, but was never developed because Morningstar LLC, Limited Liability Corporation, could not get financing. Once we defaulted them about a year or a year and a half ago, they sued the city for breach of contract and tried to have a judge issue a restraining order stopping us from assigning this project to another developer. The judge upheld our right to choose a new developer if we chose to do so. That is why our lawyers are confident that it's only a matter of time before the breach of contract lawsuit is dismissed. And just today, I talked to our lawyer, Bill Northgrave, and we will going to court to dismiss that lawsuit on the 27th of this month. My administration has always wanted to turn this 2-block area into a justice complex. which will house a new police department, which is badly needed in the city of Linden, and share dispatch and municipal court services with the city of Roselle. Although this is far from a done deal, we have been making great strides in moving this project forward. After meeting with Commissioner Constable last year in the Department of Community Affairs in Trenton, he assigned a planning team to the city of Linden to plan this project so that we could achieve our goal. And it's at no cost to the city of Linden. Presently, we've been working closely on this development team, with this development team, to design an integrated community services into the neighborhood, along with private and public development as a catalyst for revitalization. This will also reduce the cost of the Justice Complex for the city of Linden. Currently, we're exploring the possibility of having a county open social services building on this property, along with discussing with United Way or YMWCA. We're also in discussions with Trinitas Hospital to have emergent care facility located there, and are trying to interest Union County College in setting up an off-campus center for career development, interview training, and helping the unemployed back into the job market. A bank is sorely needed in this neighborhood, and that is on my agenda as the project progresses forward. Recently, the chairman of the state planning team, Bob Tessier, was able to gain the assistance of the New Jersey Institute of Technology and their students. This resulted in a completed preliminary layout design for the project. Myself, Mayor Holly, Councilwoman Cosby Hurling, LEDC Director Ron Stefanowitz, and Mr. Tessier reviewed the 10 different conceptual designs that the students made. These functional architectural concepts will be displayed at a public meeting in April or May so that we could inform the neighborhood of this project and at the success of it. Also, a certified architect could use these designs as a foundation for the true design that he intends to build. Although there is a lot more issues, and I stress there's a lot more issues that have to be resolved before this comes to fruition, we are going full steam ahead to make this a reality for East St. George's Avenue. Every month, the project is getting more and more interest from the public and private sector. And every month, I'm getting more and more confident that we could make this happen. So you see, things are finally starting to happen in Linden. Although it's been a long, hard struggle leading this city in the greatest recession since the Great Depression, at no time in my 7 years have I been more optimistic of Linden's future than today. We now have positioned ourselves to reap the rewards of a recovering national and state economy. The bank crisis is over, and banks are starting to loosen up their lending. Unemployment continues to decline. The Federal Reserve is showing enough confidence in our economy to lower the stimulus money they've been pumping into it for the last 4 years. The stock market is soaring. Housing sales in Linden are increasing, with many homes that's been on a market for a year or more are now selling. And as you can see, developers are willing to invest tens of millions of dollars of their money into projects. And this is the first year that Linden will enjoy $2.5 million reoccurring revenue from the completed Spectra Energy natural gas expansion project that I negotiated last year with them. Although we are not completely out of the woods yet, we are close to it. Recently, Standard & Poor's recognized our commitment towards austerity by raising our credit rating from AA negative to AA stable. Yes, we have more work to do, but as Ronald Reagan stated over 3 decades ago, the best is yet to come. And I truly believe that that statement is appropriate for our great city. The best is yet to come. May all of you enjoy a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for your speech. Also, since we started, we have a few other dignitaries that joined us this evening. Assemblyman Green's with us tonight. Thank you for coming. Our Board of Education President, Ray Topolaski. Board of Education member, Sue Hudak. Thank you. Well, we have some work to do tonight. I'd like to ask for presentations and public comments from the sign-in sheet. Anybody wish to come up? On my right. In the center. Come up, sir, from the Board of Education. Archie,
Thank you. I'd like to make a presentation to Don Bayer.
please, so. Go ahead.
On behalf of the Linden Citizens Association, its officers, its members, we'd like to reward Don Bayer for his hard work every night going out and campaigning. And I believe he was like Babe Ruth. He went to bat, first time he struck out, second time he struck out, the third time he hit a home run. And what I like about him, he's not a quitter. He's a fighter, and that's what the city of Linden needs, more fighters like him. And we have here a small appreciation for him to take his wife out to dinner at a Miji restaurant. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Chris Hudak to come up, please.
Thank you, Council President. I want to congratulate the newly installed councilmen today, Don Bayer and Mike Minichenko. Congratulations on your win, Peter Brown and Roshana Cosby-Hurling on your re-elections. I have a small token of appreciation from the Linden City Democratic Club and a little way of saying thank you to all of you for your hard work and best wishes for a successful year for everyone on the governing body. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Ouch. Thank you. It's like that when we stop. It's a tablet. I'm playing.
Good evening.
Hello. From the Fifth Ward Democratic Club, for Roshana, for her reelection.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Club.
Mr. Strano.
Thank you, Council President. I know I didn't sign in the sheet, and I apologize
Ralph,
for that.
it's all right.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Mayor, council members, distinguished guests, on this evening, I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate the newly elected officials in the 2nd Ward and the 7th Ward, and the re-election of our 5th Ward councilperson and our 3rd Ward councilperson. Congratulations. As a representative from the 7th Ward Democratic Club, I'd like to make a small presentation to our councilman from the 7th Ward, Mike Minichenko. I've known Mike for upwards of like 30 years now. I know he'll do a great job. I know he ran a great campaign, a very virtuous campaign, and I know you will do great things in 7th Ward and the city of Linden in the future. Here you go, Mike. Congratulations to all.
Thank you, sir. We'll move into comments from members of the council. Start with Councilman Colibus.
Thank you, Council President. I'll be very brief. I want to congratulate Councilman Byer and Councilman Marichenko on their election, and congratulate Councilwoman Cosby Hurling and Councilman Brown on their reelection, and wish everybody out there a Happy New Year. Concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. New Councilman Donald Byer.
Yes, Mr. President. I'd like to put a couple thanks out there. First off, I'd like to thank my family for all the support and the sacrifices they went through my campaign, my third time campaigning. And I'd like to thank the Linden Citizens Association for their endorsement and for all their help. I'd like to thank the residents, of course, of the second ward that voted for me. Without them, I wouldn't be here. And Mr. Colziel, I'd like to thank Mr. Colziel for taking care of the second ward for 9 years. He did a great job, and we got some big shoes to fill, I do. And I have some congratulations to Mike Manzecco, the councilman of the 7th Ward, newly elected, and Roshana Cosby Hurley, congratulations for your win, and Peter Brown, congratulations. And I have a special congratulations to a person that worked real hard on their campaign. They ran their own campaign, they made their own speeches, they made their own flyers and hung them up in the school. That was my daughter. My daughter, Brooke, she won Student Council President of McManus. I'm very proud of you, Brooke.
Good job.
We have a little joke in the house. She tells me her office is more powerful. She's a council president. I'm just a councilman. And Dan Roberts, our city judge. I thought it was an honor to have Dan Roberts swear me in. 40 years ago, his father, Lou Roberts, sat in this exact chair in the 2nd Ward. So I thought it was an honor that his son got to swear me in. And I'd just like to wish everybody a Happy New Year's and a healthy one. And that's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brown.
Thank you, Council President. First, I want to thank my family. A lot of people don't understand that when you're running a campaign in your office, it takes away a lot of time from home. As everyone sees, my boys are here, and so I want to thank my family for being so understanding, because this does take a lot of time away from home. Also, I want to thank a lot of the city employees. Like the mayor made reference to the budget, we got over the hump this year, and I want to thank the city employees for being understanding, working with us, and helping us face those challenges. I also want to thank my colleagues on the council for their support throughout the year. Many times we've butted heads publicly behind closed doors, but the bottom line is that I think we're trying to move the city forward, and we're heading in the right direction. And I would like to thank, throughout the audience here, I see a lot of members of the Democratic Club and Democratic Committee, people who've known me, for I guess almost 10 years when, I was a teenager, if you want to say it. Have seen me grown throughout the years and helped me through my campaign this year. I want to thank a lot of those guys. And congratulations to the other members who've been elected. End of report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Armstead.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you very much. I'd like to congratulate the newly elected officials, Don Byers from the 2nd Ward and Mike Minichenko from the 7th Ward. I'd like to congratulate my colleague, Councilman Peter Brown, on his reelection, and I'd like to congratulate Councilwoman Roshana Cosby on her reelection. I'm confident that they're all going to do a very good job, and look forward to working with them in the future, and like to wish everybody in the audience and the city of Linden a happy and healthy and prosperous new year. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Roshana Cosby Hurley.
Thank you, Council President. Before I make my comments, I want to just thank God for his presence in my life, and without God, none of this would have been impossible. I would like to thank my aunt for standing in and holding the Bible for me in the absence of my mother. Thank my family for their support these 3 years and in the coming 3 years. The committee members, our Democratic Club in our ward, and all of the people in the 5th Ward who have shown confidence and reelected me this year with a 60% vote. I thank you all for your support. I'm just looking forward to working hard as usual, and congratulations to Councilman Byer and Councilman Mininchenko and Councilman Brown. I'm going to reserve my report for the ward for the 21st meeting, so hopefully, we have an audience to get the information, but I'm looking forward to working hard, getting on those committees, and, doing the best that I can, as the oath says, to the best of my ability. And those concludes my comments.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Bob Stadowski.
Thank you, Council President. I, too, would like to congratulate the people. I would like to congratulate 7th Ward Councilman Michael Mininchenko, 2nd Ward Councilman Donald Byer on their election, and also on the re-election, Shauna Cosby Hurley for the 5th Ward and Peter Brown for the 3rd Ward. Congratulations again, and I look forward to working with you this coming year. One quick note, it's a little bit late, but in the 6th Ward, we have trash pickup tomorrow. If you didn't put it out, I think it's too late already, but I just wanted to mention it. That concludes it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Mininchenko.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to welcome all my friends and neighbors and wish them a Happy New Year. And thanks for everyone for coming out tonight on such a cold night here. Wow. Just want to say I'm excited to get to work for the people of the 7th Ward. And congratulations to my newly installed colleagues. Thank you to Senator Scutari for taking out the time from your busy schedule to swear me in this evening. I appreciate your support very much. I'm also grateful to the citizens of the 7th Ward for their support and their confidence in me. I do want to acknowledge the Linden Democratic Club, the Linden Democratic Committee, and also the 7th Ward Democratic Club for their support. It's hard to single out people to thank individually, since so many friends and family took the time to support my campaign. Just want to let them know that I'm humbled and I will do my best. Last but not least, I would like to thank my wonderful wife, Carol, and my son, Eric, for their support. During my campaign, I missed a lot of family time, and I'm sure over the next 3 years, I'm going to miss a lot more. Just want to put out there, I'm a lifelong resident of the 7th Ward. I attended the Linden Public School System, graduating from Linden High School in 1982. I've been employed by Welding Materials for the last 27 years, which is also in the 7th Ward. So they know representing the 7th Ward hasn't been a dream of mine for a long time, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Councilman.
Last month,
I'm sorry.
I got a little more to say. I'm not
You
that
have
quiet.
the whole evening.
Last month, while sending out some of our I'm sorry. I would also like to thank our former Councilman Jack Sheehy for the 6 years of dedicated service he gave our city. Thank you, Jack. Last month, while sending off some of our outgoing councilmen, it was said over and over again that people don't realize how much time this position takes you away from your family. So to my wife and son, I say thank you, and I love you guys. Just want to say I'm eager to start working with this governing body, our mayor, and our city department heads to make our city all it can be. I believe we as a council have to put our differences aside and work together for the betterment of our great city of Linden. As councilman of the 7th Ward, I will serve with the best interest of our ward. And I just want to put out there, this wasn't part of my speech, but with this polar vortex going on, we have 3 warming centers in the city of Linden, one being at the Linden Public Library, one being at the JDG Center, and also at the Linden Multipurpose Center. So if anybody doesn't have heat or they need to get warm, we have those 3 locations there. They can call for their operation of hours. So again, I'd just like to thank everyone for attending our reorganization meeting. And if anyone has any questions or concerns, they can reach me at 862-6265 or email me at mminarchenko@linden-nj.org. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Yamakaitis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to start off with saying Happy New Year, everyone. I would like to also welcome Councilman Byer and Councilman Mininchenko to the Linden City Council. Any assistance I could be to either one of you, please don't hesitate to ask. I also would like to congratulate my colleagues, Councilwoman Cosby Hurling and Councilman Brown, on their re-election. I look forward to working with all of you, as well as serving the 8th Ward once again this year and all the city of Linden. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Medina?
Yes, Council President, good evening, everyone. I also want to start off by wishing everyone a Happy New Year's and a healthy one as well. I want to just quickly congratulate our newly elected council members and also congratulate our re-elected council members as well. Look forward to working with you guys in 2014 and keeping the city moving forward. That completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Adam Kaczynski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I, too, would just like to congratulate Councilman Minichenko and Councilman Byer for one, putting their name in the hat and then actually winning it and putting the dedication into to come up here. And I look forward to working with you both. If I can be any assistance, please don't hesitate. And I'd also like to welcome back Councilwoman Cosby-Hurling and Councilman Brown and congratulate them on their re-elections. This is going to be another year of dedication. I know by all of us up here, we may have our disagreements, but I want to echo one of the thoughts I heard earlier, that we are all trying to get us to the same place, a better Linden. So I appreciate the efforts everyone puts in up here. I thank everyone for coming out today during our reorg, and happy and prosperous New Year. Thank you, Mr. Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. At this point, I'd like to move into the election of the President of Council Pro Tem.
Council President?
I would like to make a motion to elect Councilman Armstead.
President, I'll second that motion.
Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Colbus?
No.
Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Brown? Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
No.
Minichenko?
No.
Yemakaitis?
No.
Medina?
No.
Kaczynski?
No.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. You
Council
can see we never rubber stamp anything here. Councilwoman Cosby Hurling.
Yes, Council President, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Councilwoman Michelle Yamakaitis, Council Pro Tem.
I'll ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byers?
No.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. I'd like to ask Councilwoman Yamakaitis to come forward to be sworn in by the city clerk, or a person of your choice.
I, Michelle Yamakaitis,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of Council President Pro Tem
of the office of Council President Pro Tem
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you. We'll move into resolutions 2014-1 through 2014-24. Public comments will be permitted for those specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions, which have been prepared by the city clerk's office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions on it. Does anyone wish to remove a resolution number 1 through 24 on my right? In the center of the chamber, 1 through 24. On my left, 1 through 24. Seeing none, I ask for a motion on resolutions 1 through 24.
Council President, I ask that resolutions 2014-1 through 20-14-24 be passed and seek a second.
I'll second that.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. I'd like to move into our personnel report. And I haven't picked the chairman yet. We picked our committees. Went quite well, I felt. And I've asked Mrs. Yamakaitis to present the personnel report tonight.
Approval is requested for the following personnel actions. Number 1, in the fire department, the approval for the appointment of Deputy Chief Joseph Dooley to the position of fire official stipend commensurate with the collective negotiations agreement between the city and the Linden Deputy Chiefs Association. Number 2, in the police department, effective January 13, 2014, the approval for the following appointments to the position of police officer due to vacancies caused by retirements and subject to satisfactory completion of the criminal history background check and all other requisite background checks at the salary commensurate with the collective negotiations agreement between the city and the PBA Local 42. All appointees meet the city's residency requirement. Daniel Aracu, J.C. M. Mojica, Leon T. Pastor Jr., David Aracu, Michael Ronsky, Nicholas M. Scanlon, Julio Laparino. Number 3, in the Office of the Tax Assessor, the approval of intermittent FMLA/NJFLA leave for employee number 118 for the period 1/1/14 through 6/16/14. I make a motion for approval and seek a second.
Second. Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. We have no ordinance on first reading, so I'd like to ask the clerk to hand out the appointments I made for the liaisons. On behalf of Mr. Byer, Mr. Brown, Mrs. Crosby Hurling, Mr. Minchenko, you're invited, the members of the governing body, their guests, and members of the public to the Gregorio Center for refreshments, concluding the meeting. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, January 20th, 2014 at 6 p.m. Council conference meeting, City Hall, Linden. Conference meeting prior to the council meeting Tuesday, January 21st at 6 p.m. Council meeting, City Hall. Council meeting Tuesday, January 21st, 2014 at 7 p.m. Council Chambers, City Hall, Linden. I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Good evening.